Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here once again. Okay, right. Now, this is my second video on Shining Resonance Refrain. I did like a sort of first impressions video. I somehow went on for over 20 minutes. I would recommend go watching that because I cover a lot of stuff that I really want to say about the game there, which I'm not going to bother reiterating here. That was my first impressions. These are like my final impressions. I beat the game just last night. It took me 47 hours, and I was surprised at how much more I actually had to say. So yeah, let's just get right into this because, guys, okay. Again, please watch the first video. I was actually somewhat very on the fence. Basically, is probably the right thing to say about this game from the beginning. But now that I've finished it, I can say with certainty that I like this game, okay? And I'm glad that I like this game, right? But it's not just that. It's, I actually feel like, right, that I now accept this game as a Shining game. And that was honestly the hardest hurdle to get over at first, right? Because you look at this game and it's like, this is not Shining, okay? This is nothing like Shining Force, Shining in the Holy Ark, or Shining Wisdom, or anything like that. This is clearly its own beast entirely. But now I feel a bit different. I'm not sure why, because yeah, the art style is extremely, like, different, but I don't know. I feel like it just fits now. It's hard to explain, basically. And by the way, I actually do want to, like, bring this to people's attention, right? The artist for the original Shining Force games, who originally worked on, you know, Shining Force, Shining Wisdom and all that, within, like, the first week of this game coming out, I actually passed away. It was honestly, like, pretty, like, eerie, you know? Here was this game out and the art style was just, like, getting, has had, I should say, a lot of criticism from fans, but the original artist now passes away. It was mental, and I don't want to say that that's, like, affected my way of thinking, but I guess, in a sense, it's like, okay, I guess Tony Taka, you know, he's been working on loads of Shining games as well. He is kind of now, like, the artist to go to, almost. You know, I don't want to say the guy's, like, you know, obviously he's just died. It feels like, oh, well, he's dead, let's get this other guy in. You know, that just sounds really bad. I'm just saying that I feel like I can accept Tony Taka's art style as a replacement for the great art style of, Hiroshi Kajiyama, yes. He also worked on Golden Sun, incidentally, so he's passed away. It really sucks, but, you know, I guess this is how Shining will be now, in the hands of Tony Taka, at least in terms of character design. But, okay, whatever, enough about that. Let's talk about the actual game. Now, I already was talking about that I do like this game, alright? But it's still not, like, gonna set the world on fire, right? It's still, like, not even necessarily a solid, if I had to give it a number, it's not even really like a solid 7 out of 10. I'd give it like a 7, but a really low 7, if you know what I mean, okay? I'll put it this way, though. I wish, right, that Sonic Forces was as good as this game, okay? I would take this level of quality for Sonic Forces over, you know, what we got. So let that be sort of like an indication of what I'm trying to, like, talk about here. And nothing much really changed between, like, this video and my last video. I just got more into the game, and I didn't really stop playing it, and I just appreciated it for what it was, really, you know? Everything I kind of, like, wanted to say regarding the game and how I felt about it is probably, for the most part, unchanged from the last video. It just really came together as I got to the end. But with that said, I actually have much more to say in the way of criticisms, which is weird to say, which must seem weird, I know, but hear me out here. I really want to bring this to the attention because in the case of some of this stuff, it could actually be, like, patched in and, like, made better, quite frankly, okay? The first thing I want to point out is that this game really, really has a shite map system, okay? You have this like mini map that you can like expand fully, and you can see the area that you're currently in. Okay, that's fair enough. You also have like this sort of overworld map that you can view at any time. But this overworld map is fucking useless. It's literally just dots on a map. And not to mention, the dots on the map don't always indicate an area that you could be in. Sometimes they could indicate a dungeon. And there's no way to see the full map of a dungeon. It's only like whatever area you happen to be in, that's all you could see. And navigating is just a bitch. On top of the fact that there is like no fast travel in this game. When you are out in the field, you can make your way back to Magra. It's Magra? Yeah, like the only town in the game, but you have to buy like an item in order to do that. I kind of wish that they would have included like a spell that would let you do that as opposed to buying items, you know, because that's how it worked in the original games. You had a spell called Egress, and that would, every time the main character cast it, he would immediately go back to the town. So if they included like a tiny thing like that, that would have just been one more like cool little reference to the previous games that I would have appreciated. But yeah, some sort of like fast travel and better map system, that would be so nice. Come on, I mean, it's just so like clunky the way it is now. It's shite. I guess one other like sort of criticism is that I found that the side content in this game wasn't that great, because the main story content, obviously you're going from A to B, defeating monsters along the way, defeating bosses, hoping that you're a high enough level to do so. So the sort of like in-between stuff, i.e. the stuff that you'll be doing in order to grind, it should be like worthwhile, shouldn't it? Well, it is and it isn't. The game has lots of like standard side quests, you know, and I say standard because, you know, pretty much all big RPGs have these now. You know, you have characters who have a little icon over the head, you go over to talk to them, and you accept a quest. And the game's got these, but, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but there's no way to keep track of what quests you've already done. Like, you have a quest log of everything that's active, but I found that whenever I, like, completed a quest, the same character would, like, give me the exact same quest over and over again, you know? So, I guess in that sense, the game has, like, infinity quests, but as a result, it just doesn't feel like I was really completing anything. It just felt like, oh, I can give these items to this person to get this item. And I didn't give a shit what the items I was giving or the items I was receiving were. You know, I was just, like, completing quests as they came along. I have no idea at all what I was getting. So, and I feel like that's a lot for most, like, side quests in games like this. You know, games like Xenoblade, Final Fantasy 15, you know. Most of these side quests are just fodder. And here they just felt a bit less fulfilling because they were just, like, completely arbitrary. Or is that just me? I don't know, guys. But the other, like, bit of side content that this game has going for it is something called the Grimoire. The Grimoire is an optional dungeon in which you get, like, these sort of, like, stones, and you use them on the Grimoire, and that will generate the dungeon based on what stones you use. This will affect what level the monsters will be, or exactly what monsters you will be fighting, and a bunch of other stuff. And you can also choose from different, like, dungeon types as well. And this was probably, like, a bit better, because you would get, like, items for doing it, and it was also just the best place in the game to grind, you know, it really was. That's a bit better. And I guess one other thing I should say, which ties into one other last criticism that I have, is that there's also the dating system in the game. And most RPGs do tend to have this, you know, they'll have, like, some sort of, like, optional cutscenes so that the main character can get close with their, the other party members. And this game's got that in Drones, you know, you're always going on dates with only the female characters, although, yeah, I think I might have said otherwise in my last video because I hadn't played it for long enough, but you can go on dates with the guys. Obviously, they don't flat out make it romantic, but it's there. You know, you can hang out with them. You know, you're just hanging about with the girls. You know, you're going about with them like completely by yourselves, and someone uses the D word, saying you're on a date, and the characters will just blush immediately and stump and like stutter, just like I did right there, and go date. You know, and very like Japanese light novel way. I already made that comparison a bunch in the last video, but you get what I mean. It really is. This story is really cringy. That's the main thing I want to say. It's a very cringy, very generic anime story. But with that said, I don't know what it is, guys. Like, I don't really watch anime anymore because I feel like it gets super, like, samey, super tropey, super just, like, anime is an adjective, not a genre now, right? That's how I see it. But when an anime or a Japanese RPG gives you, like, lots of, like, little tidbits or optional dialogue options with your characters, you definitely grow attached to them and you want to see them through to the end. You know, like, the Tales of games do this really well with their skit system. You know, you just get little bits of dialogue that give the characters, well, character, you know? And this game does that really well. You know, I knew a lot about each of the characters by the time I got to the end of this game, even though for the most part there wasn't really much to these characters in the first place. It's weird, you know. Anime can be almost manipulative sometimes, I feel. But whatever. This is turning into a whole different subject. We're trying to talk about this game, but yeah. Basically, guys, at the end of the day, I do give a decent recommendation for this game. But I would still probably wait to see if it's cheaper. You know, I actually, by the way, this was like my main complaint in my last video, right? I was looking into it, and apparently this game is actually not that pricey in America. It's like $50. And over here, it's like just under 50 quid. Like, for fuck's sake. Is Brexit that bad? Oh, God. But, yeah. I would say, like, if you can get this at a good price, go for it. Otherwise, go play Octopath Traveler. That's still probably the better game. But, yeah, whatever. At the end of the day, I already said that. At the end of the day, I should say, I am still very glad that Sega went to the bother of localizing this. Or I should say, Atlas went to the bother of localizing this and giving this series another chance and just giving us something that, you know, I like it when these things come out in Japan, basically. I really do. So yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to say. How long did I ramble on for? Fuck's sake, just about nearly 13 minutes. Right, I should probably end this now. Okay. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.